What's up YouTube, NCG here, bringing you a Dino Shaddoll deck profile. Now, for those of you that don't know, Dino Shadolls have kind of brought a resurgence back to the Dino art type and of course the Shaddoll art type. The reason this works so well is because of the brand new card that Dino's got. Well, I say brand new card, but what they got in Extreme Forces, which is Overtext. And the reason that's so good is because this allows you to abuse Ultimate Conductor Tyranno as well as the Shaddoll extra deck, and it gives you a very, very nice kind of powerful turn 2 deck, which as we go through the deck I'll show you what we've got and why we've got it and explain why we play it. So, we play triple Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. This is your boss monster of the deck, incredibly powerful. The whole destroy and flip is just incredibly out in absolutely everything you need to, and then being able to pop send face down defensive monsters, and it can even get past Masterpiece if Masterpiece isn't immune by monsters. If it is, you bait out the Masterpiece and then go in for your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, and that's where your stuff like your Shaddoll fusion comes in. Next up for the Dinos, we play triple Salt Eating Overraptor. Now in the past you would use Salt Eating Overraptor's effect to search out your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, but now you're using Soul Eating Overraptor's effect as a Foolish Burial to send your Overtext to the graveyard. Now you send Overtext to the graveyard, he then searches you out a double Evolution Pill. You activate your double Evolution Pill, you've got yourself an Ultimate Conductor already, so it's a nice little shortcut to get into that. Speaking of which, we play double Overtext. You can play 3 if you want, but that would get very, very cloggy. You don't want to open up this guy, and depending on what your opponent plays, you could actually, instead of getting Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, if you're going first, you get Overtext out, and then you're able to negate a spell and trap, which can be very, very powerful and disruptive. So it gives you both a first turn and second turn play. Double Giant Rex, because 9 times out of 10 you're banishing Giant Rex off of the effect of double Evolution Pill, and then bringing him straight back into a rank 4 with your Overraptor or whatever other monster you would have on board. The last 2 dinos we play is the one Dracaleo and the one Miscellaneousaurus. Miscellaneous is quite straightforward and self-explanatory. The Dracaleo is just for synchro plays. You don't have to play it, but if we get a Miscellaneous to the graveyard, we then have the ability to protect our dinos and then go into High Speed Roy Shambara, and that is the OTK. Onto the Shadolls, we play double Beast, mainly for the draw power, the single Dragon for the back row pop, the single Squamata for the main monster pop, and if you send this, you then get to send another Shaddoll. And then we play the one Hedgehog for the Searcher. If you have a very, very slow turn, you can search out your Shaddoll Fusion. If you don't have that slow of a turn, you can always pitch this and search out another Shaddoll that you might want in hand. Like search out your Beast, pop your Beast, get an additional draw, and off you go. We then play triple Armageddon Knight. Now this guy obviously helps you out being another Overraptor. Because Overtext is dark, you can normal summon this guy even if you don't open up your Overraptor, send your Overtext and search out your Pill, and you just want as much consistency as you possibly can to get to your Pill and your Shaddoll fusion plays. For the hand traps, we play triple Ash and double Ogre. Now these serve double purposes in this lineup because with double Evolution Pill you have to banish one Dino and one non-Dino monster. So you've got a lot of options in your Shaddoll plays, but then of course you've got your hand trap plays. So if we're organised of going second, your hand traps are going to be very, very important because you drop your hand trap, disrupt your opponent, then you've got fodder in your graveyard for your double Evolution Pill to push you further forward into the game and hopefully OTK your opponent or leave them on very little life points that they can't actually do anything. Now onto the spells, we play triple Shaddoll Fusion. You want to see this card in your opening hand going second because then you get another bait out. So should your opponent have anything like a Solemn Judgment, Solemn Warning, or even an Ash Blossom, you have the ability to go Shaddoll Fusion, bait that out that way. If not, you go into a Winder for a bit of protection, or of course you can go into a Shekhanaga, and then the Shekhanaga gives you a bit of negation if you have a Shaddoll in hand as well. It means you can negate monster effects. That in turn then allows you to push forward. If you've got opened up any type of your combo plays, your Armageddon Knight, your double Evolution Pill, or of course your Overraptor, you then have plays to move forward for your double Evolution Pill, which speaking of which, we play triple of that, and then you pretty much end the board. You can have a board with like a Winder and a Shekhanaga and an Ultimate Conductor, or a Winder and an Overtext, or a Winder, any kind of combination between those two, and you still haven't used your normal summons, so you still have that as well. Or if you've had to use your normal summon for the pitch, then you've got a level 4 on board that if you send, like if you make Grishta, you send a Beast, get an additional draw, and then you send the Miscellaneousaurus, which can then be banished to bring you out a Dracaleo. Not that you'd want to, because obviously you'd have Grishta on board in your extra monster zone, but it just gives you a couple of optional plays to go around with. Triple Frost Dig, not only is this a nice little bait out for Ash Blossom, it obviously searches you out your Overraptor. So you've now got 9 targets in order to pitch your Overtex to give you that play. For a little bit consistent, we're playing triple Allura Dinos. You don't have to play this. We have a lot of dart targets. Obviously, all the Shaddolls are dart targets, as well as the Armageddonites. And of course, your Overtex. Should you open up with an Overtex, you don't really, it's not ideal to have it in hand. So you do kind of want to get rid of it as well. And then on top of that, you do have your Salt Eating Overraptor, which can be used as fodder. Like I said, this is a turn 2 OTK deck. So it's very rare that you would extend the game like past a couple of turns, which is why most of your plays are get to your combo plays, make it, and then win the game. Speaking of which, we play a lot of one-offs. So we've got the 1 Dark Hole, the 1 Regeki. We're going second. We want to wipe our opponent's board if we don't get an Ultimate Conductor. The 1 Foolish Burial, again, that is your 10th card to get Overtext to the graveyard. And then, of course, the 1 Monster Reborn. Because you then have the ability to bring back whatever you send with your Shaddoll Fusion, should you need to, which can help extend your plays, or, of course, help move your plays even further forward. So it gives you a lot more opportunities to work around. We don't play traps in this deck because they're all in the side. You don't really want traps in this one because you do want to be going... You want to win the dice roll, you go second. You lose the dice roll 9 times out of 10, you'll probably be told that you're going to go second anyway. So that's kind of what we're playing for. We'll start off with the fusion. So we play double El Shaddoll Winder. Very, very powerful card. Slows your opponent down massively. And obviously stops them special summoning more than once, but it also hurts you as well. It also can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So it helps you kind of slow Masterpiece down in that sense until you get into whatever you need to out Masterpiece and then Ultimate Conductor it out of the way. So it gives you a couple of options there. If you put your Kaijus in the side as well. Double Shakunaga, the second best Shaddoll card, Shaddoll Fusion card. Now, obviously, it's a little bit harder to make because your main cards is your Giant Rex. But 9 times out of 10, you're just going to be sending from your deck anyway. So as long as you don't open up your Rexes, you still have the ability to make 2 of these. But like I said, you very rarely would ever make 2. You can take this out for another option if you want to. The second Construct comes back. You know, that's what's going in there. And then you've got your Ogres to make that as well. The 1 Grista, you can bump this up to 2 if you wanted to because you've got a lot more targets. You've got the 1 Miscellaneousaurus. Well, I say a lot more targets. You've got double the amount of targets. You've got 3 Ash and your Miscellaneousaurus. So it gives you a couple of options there. You then play a standard lineup of rank 4s. You've got your Abyss Dweller, your Baguska, and then you've got your Evilsaur, Dolka, and your Lagia. Again, incredibly powerful and consistently made on these. These can then, on top of that, help you out, protect your monsters should you go first. Synchro is the 1 high-speed Roy Shambara for game. The 1 Trishula, because we can make it, and ripping 1 from your opponent's hand, field, and grave is always very, very important. And then for the links, we've got the 1 Akashic Magician, the 1 Underclock Taker, and you don't have to play Akashic if you want. I just really, really like the card. I think it's a nice little touch. It's a little bit harder to make because it's quite specific. Underclock is a lot easier to do, but this can be a nice little out to a Deco Talker should it be causing you any issues. Speaking of which, we played the 1 Deco Talker and the 1 Saruja. Now, again, you very rarely are going to have 4 monsters on the board to make this card. Like, you can get 4 monsters on the board, but by the time you've done that, you're going to be going into optional plays rather than straight into a Scoldred. But it just gives you those options there, should you want it or should you need it. Anyway, that is it for the deck profile. Quite to the point, but very, very fun. Like, I really enjoy playing this deck. Not only does it let you play Shaddolls again, which have kind of been a bit dormant for a while. There was a little bit of a resurgence back trying to make them with heroes and stuff like that, but it didn't really come to fruition. But with Dinos, they do seem to have a bit of steady play. And not that they're going to be meta-defining or absolutely wrecking the meta until Construct comes back, and even then, it's not that busted. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. And until Tuesday next week, guys, see ya.